Greetings, engineers. James Morelli here, doing what we do best. Just to equip you with one little hack every day, showcase a little tricks and hacks to simplify and improve the efficiency of your workflows, which allows you to deliver high quality projects, make you super productive and valuable. So today, I want us to continue in our series to deconstruct engineers' nightmares. And in the engineer's nightmares is basically about cross sections. So this is more of a slope stabilization project that we wanted to landscape or to shape the embankments of our road. Now I'll just get into it. And this is the cross section. This is the assembly. Just looking at the assembly, we have of course our points of interest, which is the ETW. This is also some of the points that you want to label when you're preparing or when you are creating labels for your cross sections. So you want to know your crown, that's the center line of your road. You want to know the ETW, edge of travel way. You would also want to know the edge of paved shoulder. You would also like to know the elevations for your edge or for your inch at this specific point. You'd want to know the elevations for your ditch in. You'd want to know your elevations. This is more of a bench right here with us. So you'd want to know these are slope links that helps us to create customized assemblies in Civil 3D. So you'll also need to know these codes P1, P2, of course, to the end right here. So let's get into it. We can see our cross sections are just dull and empty. They don't have any data in them, especially in the labels. That is why we're here. So the first thing is you select the pavement. And you know that you are not designing the pavement. That's why it's very sleek here. Then once you select on it, in the contextual ribbon, you'll find edit code labels. In the points, you will go to the points and shapes. What we are interested in are those specific points of interest that I've listed. But when you look at this one, you find that there are no points, no points, no links that have been extracted from our corridor. So what we need to do is very easy. We need to import these codes. So click on import. Then the software will ask you select subassembly, assembly, or corridor to import codes from. So this means you can import codes from directly your corridor or your assembly. I'll do this through the assembly. So I'll start each by clicking each subassembly uh, of this assembly. You need to check it out, check that, check these, select these, and select. So once everything is selected, remember this applies to any type of cross section that you have. And you can see my points have been populated, my shapes and my links. So of interest when labeling these are points. And of course, we have our crown, our ditch in, our ditch out, our EPS, our P2 and P1s and all of that. So I will collapse the shape and focus on these points. And in the points, I want us to start first with the crown. The crown means the center line. Important to know that we have crown at each and every pavement layer as indicated here. But for now, we want to look at the topmost, which is the crown. Go to the label style. Once you go to label style, click on this button to edit the label style. Then click on the drop down, and we already have offset elevation. I would want us to make a copy of this one. So click on copy current. Once you copy current, we will have this label style composer. In the label style composer, I want us to call these complete cross-section labels. And in the cross-section labels, of course, we'll have, in this case, I want us to have the code, the offset, we call it offset. This is in the description, offset and the elevation label. Yeah, that's fairly good. So that you can take credit, may around want that. Then we go to the general tab. In the general, this is where you assign the layer that you would want them to be in, and of course the text style. So you can modify the text style here and select whichever that resonates with you. We're going to go with standard for this one. After that, we go to the layout, which is the most important part. The layout gives us how our labels will look like. And in this one, we have the components. So in this case, we have three components. We start with the offset elevation component. And I want to combine with this with code. I want to call this code, offset, and then elevation specific point. Visibility is true. Then the anchor type is a line. So we want it to be anchored with a line. And I want it to be anchored at the end. And you can be looking at the preview here to see how our changes prove. So I want to go to the content, and this is the most important part, and I want you to take note of this. Let us delete everything that is existing here so that we can create our own. So the first one is the point code. I want to insert the point code. So you select point code. You may want to, if you want it to be uppercase, lowercase, or title caps, you will select what you want. For example, I want mine to be in uppercase. And then there is an arrow here that you need to push it in and it in our preview section here. After we do that, I want us to put a comma so that it will separate the first, because that's the point code. Suppose it's the crown, it will be crown. Suppose it's edge of travel way, it will be called ETW. After that, I have a space. And after that, I want to put code called off, which means offsets. After that, I will put a semicolon. This is the same expressions that we have even in Excel. So after semicolon, I want now to insert the next thing to be the offset point. So this is subassembly point offset. Select on subassembly point offset and then insert it right here. After that, I'll just have a separator, which is a comma, space, and then I will have ELEV as a code for my elevation. After that, I will have my uh, semicolon. After doing that, I go to insert now subassembly point elevation and insert it right there. After that, I'm done with the key points of interest. But if you wanted to indicate probably the edge, all of this, if you wanted instead of point code, you wanted a description, then that is also fairly good enough. A little bit descriptions will make your labels very busy and crowded. So after that, I just select everything here, Control A. Once I select, I go to Format so that I can assign it. For example, the color that I want is somehow cyan. Then after that, I would select also the font to be Arial. Then after that, you can also select justification. After doing that, press OK to accept that. You can see how this one looks like. So we are done with that. So the next one is the point code. Remember, we included point code in our first description, so we don't need this. So select it and use the X here to remove it from being part of our label style. The next thing is the line. So we would want to have specifications of this line, the green one here. So in the first one is, of course, we want it to be visible, line 1. Then after that, I would want it at the end. That then there is the content of this. Of course, it will include everything else that is in the. Okay, I need to select line, sorry. This is true, visibility true. Of course, it's a feature. The anchor point is a feature. And then after that, start point is the label location. Use endpoint anchor, you turn it false, and then you would want to know the length of your line. It's something around like 5 mm is fairly good enough. You can see it's been elongated or shortened. And then of course you can determine the layer, the line for this one, the color for your line. I would want it to be white. Then after that, click apply, then press OK, then press OK. Now, after composing the label style, I would want now to assign it to my points of interest. So I would want it to be at the ditching. So I will just select that in the pick style, then add the complete cross section, label style. I would also want it at the edge of paved shoulder, EPS, press OK. I will also want it at ETW, edge of traveled way, then assign that. Then after that, I would want it at the inch, right? And then after that, I would also want it at P1. So right there, press OK. Those are the key points of interest, but always remember you can get to modify them according to your preference, then apply, then press OK. See whether this is applied. So we need to zoom into one of the cross sections. It looks like we have it right there. This one looks a little bit busy, but this is about modifying now the scale. So for example, let us modify the scale here to something like 1:400. Yeah. So we can even get it to 1:, something like 250. And once we do that, you can see our scales look better. So what I'm seeing is the point for each and EPS is overlapping, and I wouldn't want to have those specific ones. So I can go on and modify again. All I need to do is just select the pavement again. Escape here. Just need to go select my pavement. I go to edit point code and go to points. Once I go to points, I will go to that specific one that is called one that is overlapping. I need to be sure. It's the edge that is overlapping, especially at this where the edge is overlapping at this point. So I would want to remove that. Then go to point. Uh, and then I go to the inch, where is inch, then I will have none that specific point, and then after that I'll apply, then press OK, and you can see the overlap is gone this specific. So that's how you get to modify it. But also, if you don't want also the edge of shoulder, be able to do that. So to do this, we also want to assign this one to modify, because you can see they are moving out of um our markers. So what we need to do is select one, then go to update layout. And once you update group layout, they will reposition themselves in the sheet. So now at least we have a very well detailed cross section where we have the elevations at that specific point. You can see also they are right here with us, the key critical points from this one, down offset of 2 meters. That is fairly good. You can see the cut section. This is the one that is here. And then we also have, so for example, we have very minimal fill section, because this is slope stabilization. This is now the bench. And also, if you wanted to know the specific point for this one, you can also modify them using the same exact procedure. So that's it. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure you employ these and make your projects better and more detailed. Cheers. See you around.